Chosen one, listen up. This is not a drill. What I'm about to share with you is urgent, critical, and could literally save you from a fate worse than you imagine. If you're watching this right now, it's no accident. God has pulled you here because time is running out and the window to act is closing fast. You are standing at a crossroads, and the path you choose right now will determine whether you soar into your destiny or suffer consequences that could hospitalize you physically, mentally, or spiritually for days on end. This is not fear-mongering. This is a divine warning. The prayers you've been whispering in the dark, the visions you've dared to hold in your heart, they are not ignored. They're being set in motion. But here's the truth. Delay is dangerous. Hesitate now and the window may close. You could miss the breakthrough you've been waiting for your entire life. And what fills that void instead? Struggle, sickness, a darkness that drains your soul. This is not exaggeration. This is a spiritual alarm. Heaven is sounding it for chosen ones like you. It's not tomorrow's problem. It's now. You must move. The word says, so then let us not be like others who are asleep, but let us be awake and sober. 1 Thessalonians 5:6. This is your call to wake up. Stop waiting. Stop questioning. Start claiming what God has already written in your name. Before we go further, pause this video. Yes, right now. Do 3 things that speak faith into your future. Hit that like button, subscribe to help us reach 90,000 warriors who are waking up just like you, and drop the number 99 in the comments. That number? It's not random. It's symbolic of the one lost sheep, the one heaven goes after. If a man has 100 sheep and one of them wanders away, will he not leave the 99 on the hills and go to look for the one that wandered off? Matthew 18:12. Drop the 99. Let heaven know you're ready to be found, sealed, and sent. If you're truly chosen, your spirit won't let you click away. Not now, because walking away from this moment could set off days, even weeks, of confusion, crisis, or collapse. But if you stay, if you commit, you're about to witness a divine shift so powerful it will shake every level of your life. This is not just another motivational video. This is a holy intersection where the spiritual and material realms are colliding in you right now. You can feel it. Restless nights, a strange pressure in your chest or your mind, fatigue that makes no sense. These aren't random. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, the authorities, the powers of this dark world, and the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Ephesians 6:12. You're not crazy. You're under pressure because the calling on your life is that big. When your spirit is out of sync with what God is birthing in you, your body suffers. People report sudden illness, confusion, exhaustion, and doctors can't explain it. But the Spirit knows. These aren't medical flukes. They're spiritual alarms. And you are feeling them because you are marked. You were created with a calling, a capacity to carry light in both realms. But when the energy spikes and you don't respond, it overwhelms your system. People have ended up in hospital beds fighting invisible battles because they didn't recognize the signs. Don't let that be you. Act now, not when it's comfortable, not when things settle down. Now is the time of God's favor. Now is the day of salvation. 2 Corinthians 6:2. If you're hearing this, it's because you were handpicked. You have been selected to lead on the front lines of a spiritual awakening. Heaven is calling you upward into transformation and purpose. But the material world will try to chain you with distractions and fear. This tension, it's proof of your assignment. You are caught in the tug of war between 2 worlds because you're meant to bridge them. So hear me clearly. This is not entertainment. This is your divine activation. Stay until the end. Don't break the flow. Your life, your health, your destiny is waiting on what you do next. Let's go. This isn't chaos. This is a calling. You're not being randomly targeted. You're being summoned. tested. The pressure you're feeling isn't punishment, it's purpose. It's the tension between heaven and earth pulling at your soul, trying to see which one you'll choose. The spiritual realm is drawing you in like gravity to your true self. But the material world has its hooks deep, its chains are heavy, seductive and familiar. And in the middle of this tug of war, you, your thoughts, your emotions, your will, they're all caught in the storm. You're not alone in this battle. Every prophet, every saint, every spiritual warrior who ever walked this earth has stood where you're standing now. We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair. 2 Corinthians 4:8. They knew what it meant to feel torn between the fire of divine purpose and the weight of worldly distraction. But what set them apart wasn't perfection, it was clarity. They saw what was happening, and they chose to act, not later, not when it was convenient, right then. You're being asked to do the same, because the more you feed the physical world with your fears and your obsessions, your hunger for control, for wealth, for validation, the more it grows. Every sleepless night worrying about money, every moment clinging to what you own. It all fuels the system that wants to keep you spiritually asleep. And your soul feels it. Your body knows it. That tension building inside you, that's the spiritual world trying to break through. But the longer you resist, the more intense it gets. That's why trials come, not to destroy you, but to shake you awake. For whom the Lord loves, he corrects, just as a father the son in whom he delights. Proverbs 3:12. Think of yourself as a spring wound too tightly. There's only so much compression it can take before it snaps. And many are snapping now. Anxiety, chronic fatigue, mysterious illnesses no test can explain. These aren't just medical conditions, they're spiritual red flags. Energetic chaos playing out in the physical body. If you're feeling overwhelmed, lost, or like life is closing in, it's not coincidence. It's a signal, a divine alarm. Something is out of balance, and it needs your attention now. Even if you can't see it, plasmic waves, raw, divine energy, are flooding your field every day. They carry the power to create or destroy, to heal or shatter. The voice of the Lord is over the waters. The God of glory thunders. Psalm 29:3. These aren't metaphors. They're real forces, reshaping your inner world. Have you felt it? The chills out of nowhere? The sudden pressure in your chest? The tears you can't explain? That's your aura trying to expand, trying to keep up, trying not to break. And here's the choice. Resist these waves, and you'll be thrown into chaos. Or learn to ride them, and you'll rise. People who master this energy become channels of healing and transformation. But without alignment, that same energy can feel like standing in a hurricane with no shelter. That's why spiritual cleansing and recalibration aren't luxuries, they're survival. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Psalm 51:10. Have you noticed the deep tiredness that no sleep can cure? The fog that lingers no matter how hard you try to focus? These are soul signals, warning lights flashing on the dashboard of your life. And ignoring them is no longer an option. The pressure is rising, the wave is building, but you were not made to drown. You were made to awaken, to rise, to remember who you are, not a prisoner of the world, but a vessel of the divine. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. This is your moment. Your mind feels clouded, your emotions storm like wild waves, and your body carries a fatigue no sleep can fix. But hear this isn't your downfall, it's your wake-up call. These signals are not setbacks, they're sacred warnings from within, urging you to stop, listen, and act before things unravel. Every soul on the edge of breakthrough feels this pressure. It's not random, it's heaven knocking, saying, "Rise now. Awake, O sleeper, and arise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you." Ephesians 5:14. The ones who rise don't ignore these inner alarms. They move with courage and clarity. They know that when the spiritual and physical realms collide inside you, it can tear you apart, mentally, emotionally, physically. But it doesn't have to. Without action, you become the battlefield. Spirit and flesh pull you in opposite directions until you snap. Anxiety, depression, burnout, chronic illness. These are not random. They're the fallout of a war left unchecked. But here's the truth. You were never meant to crumble. You were born with the power to balance the seen and unseen, to command harmony between spirit and body. Not with ease, but with sacred effort, with awareness, with ritual, with prayer. Do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, whom you have from God? 1 Corinthians 6:19. This fight, it's not for the faint of heart, but it is your calling. You're not a bystander. You are both the warrior and the healer. You were placed here to bring order where chaos tries to reign. That's no small task. That's divine appointment. For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. 2 Timothy 1:7. But here's the danger. When you feed only the physical and neglect the spiritual, your body becomes the battlefield, and illness is often the cost. This is the strike that comes when you've tuned out God's whisper too long. Yet, when you step into your spiritual authority, when you claim your role with intention and courage, you become a light in the storm. You transmute pressure into peace, exhaustion into healing. You stop surviving and start transforming. This is your destiny. And the path begins now. Begin with a sacred act, a ritual not of superstition, but of deep spiritual alignment, a spiritual bath, a water ceremony. Water is not just cleansing, it is holy, it is life. With joy you will draw water from the wells of salvation, Isaiah 12:3. Let the water sit for hours before your bath or shower, silently absorbing the vibrations around you. Then, in stillness, set your intention. Breathe. Speak aloud or in silence. I choose balance. I choose healing. I invite divine protection. This is not routine. This is sacred ground. When you step into the water, feel the release. Let go of the weight you've carried. Let the water do what it was created to do. Restore, protect, renew. Let it carry away what no longer serves you. Let it return you to center. This is the first step in your healing, the beginning of your return. Take it before the storm breaks. Make this a daily act, not just a routine, but a sacred ritual to anchor your soul amid the chaos. The world is loud, the energy's fierce, and your spirit needs protection. Water, used wisely, becomes more than cleansing. It becomes sacred technology. Across cultures, across time, water has symbolized purification and rebirth. But when you charge it with divine intention, it transforms into something far greater, a living conduit between heaven and earth. As Proverbs 4:23 reminds us, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. When you meditate and infuse your bathwater with prayer, you are programming it, not just with peace, but with divine resilience. You're not just taking a bath, you're stepping into armor. Science confirms what spirit already knew. Water holds memory. This is why prayers whispered into water ripple beyond the surface. It's why blessed water can shift atmospheres. You are not helpless in the face of the storm. You have tools, you have power. And this ritual is a gateway. When you choose to bathe with sacred purpose, you're not only cleansing your body, you're restoring your energetic field. You're reclaiming sovereignty over your spirit. You're returning to the source, to divine alignment. And in doing so, you are protected, not just from external noise, but from internal erosion. This moment right now isn't random, it's a threshold. Every choice you make sends a signal into your body, into your future, into eternity. Deuteronomy 30:19 declares, "I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life so that you and your children may live." This is that moment, a spiritual fork in the road. The material path promises safety, comfort, the illusion of control. But the spiritual path, it demands faith. It asks for your courage. It offers something deeper than comfort, transformation, purpose, wholeness. You may feel the pull of the familiar, but remember, what is familiar is not always aligned with your destiny. To stay where you are is to risk more than discomfort. It's to risk your calling. The spiritual path isn't always easy, but it leads you to everything that matters: your healing, your clarity, your divine inheritance. As Romans 12:2 says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." That renewal begins when you stop drifting and start choosing, because your soul wasn't made to float, it was made to rise. There is no neutral ground here. To delay is to allow the storm to grow. Confusion, fatigue, spiritual stagnation, these are not your portion. But breaking free requires decision, bold, immediate action. That's what opens the gate to miracles. That's how transformation begins, not with perfection, with intention, with a single choice to rise, no matter how much fear stands in your way. God is not distant. He is waiting, with patience, yes, but also with urgency. The winds that swirl around you are not punishments, they're invitations. As James 1:12 tells us, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life." Your crown is being forged right now, but you must participate in the process. Spiritual growth is not passive. It requires movement. It requires you. Think of your soul as a garden, and this ritual, this sacred bath, this intention setting, this communion with Spirit, as its sunlight and water. Without it, the seeds of your purpose stay buried. With it, they bloom. And what blooms is not just peace, but strength. Not just clarity, but divine power. You weren't made to survive. You were made to shine. So will you answer the call? Will you step into the river and be made new? Because the blessings are real. The miracles are waiting. But they are not for the hesitant. They are for the willing, the ones who act, the ones who pray, the ones who move in faith when everything around them says, "Stay still." Isaiah 43:2 promises, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you." You are not alone in this. You never were. The time is now, not tomorrow, not later. This moment is sacred. What you choose today shapes not only your future, but your eternity. Step forward, rise, cleanse, protect, align, and watch what unfolds when you let the divine flow through you. God's reward is already prepared, but it's waiting on you. Not tomorrow, not when it's convenient. Right now. Now is the time of God's favor. Now is the day of salvation. 2 Corinthians 6:2. Every moment you hesitate, the window narrows. Delay doesn't just cost time, it risks your alignment with divine destiny. You've felt it, haven't you? That deep, unshakable tug inside, like something invisible pulling at your core. That isn't coincidence. It's the voice of eternity calling you into your purpose. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. Jeremiah 1:5. That call isn't meant to comfort, it's meant to wake you up, to strip away the lies, distractions and attachments that no longer serve your soul. Sometimes it feels like you're being swept out into deep water, the shore disappearing behind you. And yes, it's terrifying, but it's also divine. That discomfort is transformation knocking. The ache for meaning, the yearning for connection, the flashes of clarity, they're signals. Holy ones, your spirit is ready to rise beyond the shallow and step into the sacred. But let's be real, this shift doesn't come without resistance. Your old life will cling. Fear will whisper. Doubt will fight to stay. Yet God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. That power, it's already inside you. The only thing missing is your yes. And if you resist, the warning signs will get louder. Emotional chaos, physical exhaustion, mysterious illness. These aren't just symptoms, they're spiritual alerts. My people perish for lack of knowledge. Hosea 4-6. Your body becomes the battlefield when your soul is out of sync. You weren't built to carry the weight of misalignment. Ignoring divine nudges can cost you your health, your peace, even your time. But when you say yes, when you step into flow with the Spirit, everything changes. Your body heals, your mind clears, your path opens. You're no longer striving, you're soaring. Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. Isaiah 40:31. That's not poetry. That's power, and it's real. Don't wait for crisis to wake you up. Don't wait for burnout, breakdown, or bottom. Your health is sacred. Your purpose is urgent. Spiritual practices like meditation, cleansing rituals, and intentional prayer, they're not luxury, they're lifelines. The world around you is filled with noise, materialism, status, distraction. It offers comfort that fades and promises that disappoint. But the spiritual path, it asks for sacrifice, yes, but it offers what the world can't: clarity, peace, and legacy. What good is it for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit their soul? Mark 8:36. This choice isn't theoretical. It's lived. Every day, every decision. Are you investing in what fades or what endures? And hear this. You're not here by accident. The fact that you're hearing this message means you were chosen for this moment. You are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation. 1 Peter 2:9. You carry ancient strength in your bones, divine wisdom in your spirit, and a battle between light and shadow that you are born to win. But you've got to wake up, not halfway, not someday, all the way. Mind, body, and spirit. Rise, shake off the numbness, push past the hesitation. You were made for more. Because when you rise, you don't rise alone. You lift others. You spark change. You become a lighthouse in a stormy world. But it all starts with action. Swift, decisive, spirit-led action. Not fear, not waiting, obedience. Now, divine favor is not a myth. It's real, and it's ready to flood your life. When you align with God's will, blessings that no human effort could produce begin to unfold. The blessing of the Lord brings wealth without painful toil for it. Proverbs 10:22. This is the favor that breaks chains, financial, emotional, spiritual. Imagine waking up each day knowing heaven is backing you, that every step you take is divinely guided. Suddenly, closed doors open, lost relationships heal, resources appear. This isn't luck, this is grace. Grace that flows because you said yes. And that favor, it's unconditional, not about perfection, just willingness, faith, movement. Heaven honors motion, and when you step out, the universe responds. Opportunities, ideas, support, they start finding you. You become a magnet for miracles. Don't block your blessing with doubt. Expect favor. Look for it. Celebrate every breakthrough, big or small, as proof that more is coming, because it is, not just for you, but for the mission you carry, for the lives you'll touch. Once you align, truly align, your life begins to echo with divine rhythm. It's like tuning an instrument to perfect pitch. Every area begins to sing. Seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Matthew 6:33. One blessing leads to another. Peace, promotion, provision, restoration. It doesn't trickle, it overflows. And when your spiritual energy shifts, your reality shifts. You vibrate higher. People feel it. Opportunities feel it. It's magnetic. That's not hype, it's quantum, and it's kingdom. Doors open that no man can shut. You're not the same person anymore. You're aligned, anointed, and accelerating. That acceleration, It's supernatural. It doesn't follow earthly rules. The Lord will make you the head, not the tail. You will always be at the top, never at the bottom. Deuteronomy 28:13. When you obey quickly and move boldly, things start happening fast. Suddenly, instantly, miraculously. That's what obedience unlocks. So don't hesitate. The time for waiting is over. God is moving fast, and you need to catch up. Cultivate a spirit that says yes before the question is even finished. Obedience is your engine. It's what turns waiting into winning. Finally, understand this. You're already wealthy, but not in ways the world measures. You're carrying spiritual wealth that's growing even now. It's invisible, but powerful. Wisdom, peace, strength, clarity. These are treasures no one can steal, and they're the foundation of everything else. That spiritual wealth is about to become visible in your health, your work, your relationships, your voice, everything you touch. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Luke 6:38. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are being built for something eternal. So rise, move, obey, align, because everything you've been waiting for is already waiting for you. Ready.